The Russell Westbrook experience might be coming to an end in Los Angeles. Mark Stein reporting the Hornets might be interested in trading for Russ.
You've got to be kidding me. After the Lakers just got out of the playoffs due to my Phoenix Suns, their season is now over, and a lot of people are wondering what's next for guys like Russell Westbrook. In the video I made about the Lakers, I said there's a possibility that Russell Westbrook should retire because of everything that's happened to him this season, and just that it might not even be worth it anymore. And there were some people that disagreed with me, but they didn't see the full take. All they heard, Russell Westbrook should retire, and came down to the comment section to roast my ass. That's why y'all gotta watch the full video if you're gonna try to debate me. Now, some people in the comment section said, oh, Russell Westbrook should go to New York and a bunch of other teams. However, there was one team that no one expected whatsoever. Not me, not your favorite NBA YouTuber, not your favorite NBA analyst, not even the fans of this team. But the Charlotte Hornets are one of the teams that are gonna be trying to get Russell Westbrook this summer, and I don't know why the fuck they would want to do that. And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, Charlotte's just rumored to possibly want him. No, like there's rumors they're a front to get him. In this video, we're going to be discussing this trade, whether it's even worth it or not, and then talk about if Russell Westbrook could be possibly joining another team. Of course, before I get into the content, you guys leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new and notifications on. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, and your subscription would be greatly appreciated. And with all that being said, run that intro. I think the first thing we need to do is actually discuss the trade and how good it would look, because Russell Westbrook going to the Hornets, I already have some feelings about that, and they're not exactly positive. Now let me just say this, it's not because Russell Westbrook isn't talented. I know that if he wasn't on LA, I think he would have had a much better season, and even though he's gone through a lot, he actually ended the season pretty well. Some could argue it was the Russell Westbrook cycle. However, he didn't really play like an MVP candidate, he just played efficiently like he was supposed to. Again, Russell Westbrook has the talent to go onto another team and dominate. That's not what I'm worried about. But the Charlotte Hornets are not a good fit for him whatsoever, and I'm gonna be honest, this would be a terrible trade for both sides. Let's start with the Lakers. Now, the Lakers would probably try to get some of the Hornets' young assets, and depending who they try to get, it could actually be a really good trade for him. However, I don't think Charlotte is gonna give him anything that good. The only player Charlotte could trade to the Lakers where I'd be like, okay, this isn't so bad, is Gordon Hayward. For a second, can we just remember the fact that Gordon Hayward used to be really good, and he was such a damn good player, but unfortunately that injury happened to him. Utah Jazz Gordon Hayward was something else. Then he went to Boston and he was pretty good, but obviously everything happened over there, and now he's not the same player as he used to be. I'm telling you guys, Utah Jazz Gordon Hayward was really something special. However, now if we fast forward, it's not like he's not a good player, but obviously he's just not what he used to be. Now for the Lakers, I think this would actually be a pretty good move. Running Gordon Hayward at the 3, moving Bron to the 4, I think those would be two really good forwards that could help the Lakers out. However, the only issue is the fact that Gordon Hayward is kind of injury prone, and it would be just having another Anthony Davis, except a little more efficient. And by more efficient, I mean games played. And from the Lakers side, they would probably also get maybe another young asset from the Hornets. Because of Russ's contract, they might have to also throw in Kelly Oubre Jr. into the mix, or maybe even Terry Rozier. Now from the Lakers side, this doesn't seem like that bad of a trade. You get rid of Russell Westbrook, you get a little more low-key of a player that you think can be efficient as long as he doesn't get injured. However, like every trade, there are two sides to it, and the Charlotte Hornets side is not at all positive. In fact, this could be really deteriorating for the team. Let's first start out with the fact that the Charlotte Hornets are going through something right now. Yes, they have an opportunity to make the playoffs because of the play-in, but the team itself is struggling right now internally. James Borrego deserves the award for the dumbest coach in the NBA because he doesn't know how to utilize young talent when it's right in front of his face. LaMelo is one of the best young point guards in this game, and he doesn't know how to utilize him, and honestly, it's frustrating me, it's frustrating Hornets fans, and even LaMelo himself. It's like he doesn't either trust him or he has something against him. What's so crazy to me is the Hornets have the assets, they have the potential to be good, but Borrego is holding them back. And more importantly, he might be messing with Melo's development. And there are clips out there of Melo being frustrated at Borrego or just the Hornets as a whole, and I think this is going to come back to bite them in the ass when it comes for LaMelo and free agency in 2025. So that's a problem as it is, where if you lose LaMelo Ball, your franchise is going to shit. The Charlotte Hornets will mean nothing without Melo. They were already a joke of an organization before he got there, and they're starting to have some positivity. They could make the actual playoffs, but Jesus Christ, if they let go of LaMelo Ball, this team is gonna go back to the shadow realm where they were sent. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about and why this has anything to do with Russell Westbrook, let's just start out with the very simple fact that I think every single casual should know. Russell Westbrook is a point guard, LaMelo Ball is a point guard, and one of them is gonna have to start, and while the other one is probably going to come off the bench. And you might be saying, well, hold on, Specs, there's positionless basketball. Can't one of them just play point guard, the other one can play shooting guard? And that's such an amazing idea, except for the fact that they're both ball dominant players. LaMelo Ball needs the ball in his hands so he can facilitate the offense, just like Russell Westbrook needs the ball to facilitate the offense. And one of those players is clearly better than the other. So I'm going to trust LaMelo Ball to run my offense a lot more than I would Russell Westbrook. And if you try to go off, oh, Russell Westbrook has more assists, his IQ, this and that, I'm sorry, but LaMelo Ball's IQ is far better than Russell Westbrook's, and he's such a young player. The only way I could possibly see this working out is maybe if the fact that Russell Westbrook could come off the bench. Except number one, I don't think Russell Westbrook wants to come off the bench for the Charlotte Hornets out of all teams. Even for the Lakers, he didn't want to be a six-man for them, which I could completely understand if I was in a situation, even though he is playing like he should have been a six-man, or at least at the bare minimum get demoted from starting point guard. But then this goes farther than just LaMelo Ball. What about the other guys like Terry Rozier, Isaiah Thomas, even James Bouknight, who you just drafted and you could possibly be developing over the couple years that you have with them? Throwing Russell Westbrook into this mix would not help out the team whatsoever, and especially the development of these players. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out. And I don't want to hear anything about leadership or anything like that. There's nothing that Russell Westbrook could provide that would definitely help this team out. And I could understand the argument, oh, the Hornets aren't always on national television, they're a very low-key team, which is true. However, you don't think Russell Westbrook joining them would bring at least a little bit of traction? Now, if Russell Westbrook does not get traded to the Hornets, there are rumors that he could be waived by the Lakers or maybe get traded to another team. Also, a side note, Undisputed just did a segment about the Hornets and the possibility of this happening, and all I gotta say is y'all do not watch Hornet basketball games. To say that franchise has never had a good player would be a complete lie, as they've had many talented players to come out of that organization. We're not just gonna forget about guys like Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Glenn Rice, even Kemba Walker, who's still playing. I'm not saying they have the greatest players of all time, however, they do have talent, so to disrespect those greats of that team is a little bit disrespectful. Also, saying they're desperate for a guy who can drop 25 points per game and a couple assists would be good for them, even though LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges have both been doing that. LaMelo Ball is a taller, more leaner, more smarter, more better version of Russell Westbrook. He just doesn't stat pad like Russ used to. Russell Westbrook to the Hornets would be a terrible idea. However, there are some other possibilities of teams he could go to. However, the thing is right now is that not that many teams want him, which is why the Hornets are really being brought up right now. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Russ and if they trade him or not, or if they waive him. I think waiving him would just be kind of crazy to me considering what they gave up for him, but I guess we're going to have to see. The Hornets season is not exactly over yet, so I don't think they should be looking into trying to get Russell Westbrook when they have a team right now that they're going to go to the play-in and possibly make the playoffs, which if they did, that has to be a positive for that organization. They have a lot to build off right now, and I don't think Russell Westbrook is going to help them with that.